People gathering outside the Immigration Service building in San Francisco today. They're rallying against the ICE raids and deportations that are happening across the state. Officers in riot gear were seen there trying to disperse the crowds. This move comes as a response to demonstrations in L.A. as law enforcement used tear gas, rubber bullets, and flashbangs to control the crowd.
For the past few days, it's been going down in L.A. But I'm going to be real, though. I seen this coming months ago. Now, me personally, I don't blame Trump for how vicious these protests are starting to become. In my opinion, the majority of the blame should go to the Democrats. Now, stay tuned, especially if you don't agree with what I just said, because I'm about to explain why I feel that way. Now, since the protests started, Trump sending 2,000 National Guards to L.A., that don't come to no surprise to me. I mean, you got fires being set, cop cars being set on fire as well. Now you got protests in San Francisco, and who knows if things gonna get out of hand out there like it is in L.A. But I'm about to play some clips of the latest update since the National Guards landed in L.A. Then we gonna break down why this whole situation has been in the making due to the manipulation from the Democratic Party. Check this out.
Saw all of those units going southbound on Hill Street, and they're going to investigate this officer needs help call. We're going to try and find further details on that and see exactly what the result of that was. But as I'm hearing that, there's also another call for assistance on 1st and Spring Street. So we're hearing these individual calls, these individual intersections where officers are dealing with individuals that are still throwing projectiles and fireworks and things of that nature at officers. I'm still seeing, you know, every couple of minutes a flash or a flashbang or a firework go off. So you're still seeing a lot of little bits of activity like that.
No, my disappointment is I've been talking to the federal government for days. I was hoping to prevent this situation from happening. I was trying to encourage the administration that if they deployed the National Guard in Los Angeles, it would create a sense of chaos. It's the last thing our city needs. Our city is still trying to recover from the wildfires. And you just think about how so many people were impacted by that. And that's an example of where the administration was helpful. And to go from that situation to where we are now is just really tragic. And I think it's so unfortunate. It's the last thing Los Angeles needs.
It does seem like there are more law enforcement officers gathering in downtown Los Angeles now. The mutual aid call came from the LAPD, and agencies have begun to respond, in particular the LA County Sheriff's Department, which has deployed a number of officers, a lot of them, into downtown LA to help with the response there. So we're starting to see the police beginning to match, if not outnumber, the numbers of people who are still bent on causing harm and disarray in downtown Los Angeles.
Now, you just heard Democrat Mayor Karen Bass pretty much placing the blame on Donald Trump for the actions of others out there protesting in Los Angeles, setting cop cars on fire, setting fires, you know, pretty much wilding out, which I totally disagree. But of course, you know, being a Democrat, of course, she gonna place the blame on Donald Trump. But my first question to the mayor, Karen Bass, would you really blame Donald Trump if one of them cop cars had a cop in it that got set on fire? Then you really be on there blaming Donald Trump. So no, Donald Trump ain't to blame for the actions of others. Donald Trump deploying them National Guards, he trying to put a stop to the situation, man. So yeah, that was just a Democratic shield. You know, that's their thing, you know, placing the blame on Donald Trump. So that is what it is. But the situation is getting out of control, man, now. You know, they starting to make, you know, they starting to see terroristic threats, you know, spray painted on walls, talking about death to America. So now it's being talks with that Donald Trump talking about declaring martial law out in Los Angeles and really getting this thing under control. And I feel like the protesters is forcing Donald Trump's hand on this situation, man. Straight up. And you can't blame Donald Trump for trying to get this situation under control, man. You got cops and all that with families and all that trying to, you know, get this situation under control. They trying to get home back to their families, but they cop cars is getting set on fire and whatnot. So, yeah, Donald Trump's hand might just end up being forced in this situation, man, because the situation don't look like it's getting any better right now at the moment. But this whole situation, speaking of the Democrat, Mayor Karen Bass placing the blame on Donald Trump, the real blame goes to the Democrats. Because if the Democrats wasn't manipulating in the first place, leaving the border wide open, just letting millions of illegal immigrants in from jump, all just to get a vote. You know what I'm saying? Letting millions and millions of illegal immigrants in, giving them all the resources that we had left in an economy that was down bad. You had employment rate going at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? The price of food was crazy. You had millions of Americans that couldn't even afford to put food on their own table. But you let millions of immigrants in. You give them free Medicare. You give them food, unlimited food stamps. You give them money. You know what I'm saying? You gave them all the resources that the Americans needed. On top of that, you got L.A. that's got a homeless rate at 75,000 plus and counting. If you looked at the numbers today, it's probably pushing 80. Who knows? But you got that many homeless people in LA just alone that could use them same resources, that have no way to them resources, but y'all pull them resources to illegal immigrants, all because y'all want a vote. And this is the whole reason in the first place that this situation was bound to happen. You open the border and let everybody and their mama in, then you give them everything they need. Whole time, we need to get us together. So, yeah, I can kind of understand why these illegal immigrants, they feel finessed. Whole time, the Democrats was telling them, come on in, we got y'all. Y'all ain't got to worry. Y'all was expecting to win the election, so y'all telling them they going to be good. You just let them in illegally, give them all the benefits they need, then y'all lose the election, and now the reality sinks in, and now they got to go. They feel manipulated. And then what you got? The Democrats putting all this blame on Donald Trump. And honestly, I look at it, he just trying to clean up the mess. You know what I'm saying? He trying to put us first, man. The economy down bad, and you only got so many jobs. You got all these homeless people. The price of groceries is crazy. Listen, man, we got only so many resources right now. You know what? Let's put all them so many resources into Americans. So, no disrespect, but if you came here illegally, you got to go. That's just is what it is at the moment. It's unfortunate. And yeah, when you dig deeper and you really break it down and see the process of an illegal immigrant, what they go through and everything, yes, it is a sad situation. Me personally, I don't look at it as good for them and this and that. I look at it as, damn, if we was on a boat, you know what I'm saying, and it's 100 people in the water, but I only got a boat enough for my family members right now, but I got 100 people in the water that I don't know. And if I let all 100 people on this boat, the boat gonna sink and ain't nobody gonna eat. Man, it's a sad situation. I got to get my people on this boat and get to safety. It's just a situation. I didn't cause this situation, but I'm trying to do the best I can with what I'm working with. And that is what it is. But my real question, man, is Donald Trump's hand going to be forced? They already enforced his hand to deploy 2,000 National Guards. What's next? Now you got terroristic threats being made, talking about death to America and this and that. And my other question, too, is what's the protesters' next move? The people that's against deportation, that's for the illegal immigrants. What's y'all's next move as well? I want this to be a teachable moment for me as well. I stated my opinion on the situation, but I really want to understand everybody at the table's opinion and where everybody's coming from right now. Because if you don't know about Donald Trump, he ain't the type to bend or fold. And on top of that, he only doing what Americans put him in office to do. What he said he was going to do, what he promised and gave his word he was going to do, which is deport illegal immigrants. And he doing it, so he got the Americans behind him. So what's the protesters' next move? And are y'all gonna force Donald Trump's hand in this situation to declare martial law? And if that happens, things only gonna get worse, man. So I got a few questions that I would love for somebody to answer. Put it in the comment section. Let me know something, man. Because I ain't in LA, but I see what's going on. This Bezo. Y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe. Peace.